Today we got a question from Will, who's a brown belt in Jiu-Jitsu, and he is a big man with big shoulders, big chest, big arms, and he's also got a big belly. His words, not mine. But he says that this is a problem when he rolls with back mount, because when he's trying to hold back mount, he's got all this tissue in the front, right, that's kind of blocking him and making it very difficult for him to hold the position. And so he's wondering if I have any grips or adjustments to make sort of work around this problem so that he can solve this technical issue. And he says that in sort of the PS of his message, he says, I should absolutely lose weight to be healthier, and I have struggled with this my whole life, but at the moment, I want to address this technical aspect of my game and plug this hole in my game. Again, thanks for the help. So, Will, thanks for the question, brother. So, here's the deal, man. Obviously, I'm not in my gym. I can't show you any grips or adjustments here by myself, and I've done that because I don't plan to go there, because what you are trying to solve with techniques, and again, I know because Jiu-Jitsu is a technical thing and we place techniques on a pedestal, you're trying to solve a physical problem with techniques. And again, you might be able to do that. There may be some workarounds to that and whatever, you can do that. But again, I'm not going to be the person to encourage that. What I'm going to encourage you to do is go back to your PS. I'm going to encourage you to be healthier, lose weight, and get in shape. Now, again, I'm coming to you from a place as someone who's experienced this before. I'm coming to you from a place of when I was a junior in high school. I was a hefty kid, and I wrestled at the 215-pound weight class in my high school wrestling, and was usually walking at 230 in the off season. And then the next year I wrestled at 189, and I had the best year of wrestling I ever had before. And it literally propelled me into grappling, because all of a sudden this thing that I was grappling with got way better, and it made my grappling way better. It made my wrestling way better, and it all of a sudden sort of sparked something in me that was not there before. And I've seen that happen in more people than it has not happened. When someone takes the time to get this thing into shape, with diet, with weight training, with better lifestyle habits, all that stuff, all of a sudden their jiu-jitsu gets better in multiple different areas. And again, it has very little to do with technique. Here's a couple examples for you. One guy that I knew was a friend of mine, big guy like you, big round belly, couldn't hold back mount to save his life, right? Just couldn't do it because, again, he's got too much space in there. The guy could smother someone from top position and side control and mount. Couldn't play much guard either. Lost 50, 60 pounds, just lost the belly over about the course of 6-7 months. All of a sudden, his whole entire game got better, bro. He went from being, he's okay, to all of a sudden being like, he's dangerous. You got to watch him, because now he's all over the place, and he's still got some strength from that body that he's holding. It was a problem to deal with, right? Again, in those 6 to 7 months, he didn't change that much technically, right? What changed was all of a sudden you're not packing around all this extra mass that was getting in the way in the first place, right? So he's dragging around. He literally is holding a small child on top of him all the time. That's going to wear him out, right? Imagine trying to grapple with a backpack on that has 50 or 60 pounds. It's going to be a problem. So he got rid of that, and all of a sudden his game got so much better. Now, it's not just for big guys either. I've seen small guys where, they will get injured all the time. One person I'm thinking about in particular got injured all the time, couldn't roll with big guys, would complain about big guys, all that stuff. He eventually stopped complaining and started lifting weights, gained about 15 pounds of solid mass, nothing crazy, right? 15 pounds. And then all of a sudden he stops getting injured all the time because he has the protective benefits from strength training, right? Talk to any good physical therapist who wants you to do sports, and they'll tell you, injury prevention, one of the best things you can do for it, strength training. And then he also had a level of strength that he could add to his technique that was already pretty good. And then it all of a sudden multiplied his effectiveness, right? Anytime you have good technique and you add a little strength or athleticism to it, it magnifies it and unlocks it to a new level. And that's what happened with him. And again, it wasn't the technique that changed over that year that he gained the 15 pounds so much as it was he changed his body. His body got in better shape. Now, one more, sort of like if this were going big guy, little guy, this guy's kind of in the middle, had a guy that wasn't necessarily having any impediments because of his size or anything like that. He was an average size guy. But what was happening with him was he was giving 100% in his training sessions, and he never really was able to get the most from him. And you could always tell he was kind of tired. He said he had to drink a pot of coffee to stay awake half the day. So eventually he decided that he was going to get on a better diet after, people telling him he should and all that stuff. And he didn't make any massive changes. All he literally did was get rid of the bullshit food. He just said, if it comes wrapped in plastic, I'm not eating it. So, he's going to go around the perimeter of his grocery store and get the food that he actually has to cook, right? Lean meats, fruits, vegetables, some rice in there. Basic stuff, nothing crazy. Didn't do the macros or anything, just ate food. and lost a bunch of weight. And more importantly, his performance, bro, shot up. He didn't lose a ton of weight, right? He got way better because now all of a sudden his body's got the fuel it needs. He's not processing poison all day. He doesn't have to, drink a pot of coffee to stay awake. And when he's in the gym, he's cognitively sharp. He's staying awake. He's there. He's ready to go. And he's rolling every round that he can because he's got the fuel he needs. So those are just some examples. And I could literally go down like this with you for hours because I've been teaching for over 10 years. And I've seen so many students come in, and just like jiu-jitsu, they get into it for these techniques and whatever else. And then at some point, every jiu-jitsu practitioner sort of stumbles upon this that like, if I get this thing going, like if I get this thing into better shape, if I take care of this thing, it's going to make this technical stuff way better. And then they do. And a lot of times jiu-jitsu becomes a catalyst for someone to become healthier in their life off the mat. Now, here would be my suggestion to you, okay? You said you have trouble, you struggle with dieting and all that stuff, right? So if I've sold you on the idea that you need to lose some weight, here's what I would tell you to do. Start by hiring a coach. Find someone, a nutrition coach that can give you a meal plan, literally write it out specifically for you, and tell you what to eat day to day in. And then you have to go check in with them periodically so they can see how you're either gaining weight or losing weight, and they can tell you what to eat from there. I'll put my coach down in the link below. Trust me, I get no kickbacks from him. He doesn't anything like that. I just like the guy. He's done a lot of good work with my students at my gym. And so I like plugging his information if anybody wants to check him out. Because again, if you follow his stuff, you're going to lose some weight. But again, you don't have to go with him. You can go with anybody you want. But I would hire a coach because anytime we try to learn something, right? We want to learn jiu-jitsu, we go to a coach. We want to learn, I'm like riding horses right now, and I'm learning how to do that, I go to a coach. If you wanted to learn something academically, what do? You hire a school, you get instructors and professors to teach you. We get people to teach us stuff. But when it comes to food, for some strange reason, everybody thinks that they can just figure it out. And for whatever reason, we all know that doesn't typically go well, does it, right? Like most people say, I'll just figure it out, and they don't lose any weight, right? And that's okay if that's okay with you. But if you're really trying to do this, hire a coach. Tell them, let them write it all out for you. Say, tell me what to eat, and then I'll just eat that. And it can be very enlightening. And eventually you could probably learn through doing it where you won't need them anymore. But it would be a really good instructive situation where if you go with them for like 3 to maybe 6 months, you'll lose a massive amount of weight. You'll learn a lot more about the food that you're eating, how it fuels your body, and you can go from there. And you can see how it affects your jiu-jitsu. I can almost guarantee that it will make it immensely better from almost every position. So anyway, that's my idea to you, Will. I said Chris, Will. And hopefully that helps you, brother. And I'll talk to you guys next time.